Again today we have a very interesting topic, and please don't go away because I have a really exciting topic for you. We are talking about an NGO called Mtoto wa Jua, Child of the Sun. Child of the Sun, beautiful title, isn't it, for a story? But it's the name of an NGO. And I'm honored to have with me Mrs. Romell Booker-White, who is the Executive Director of Mtoto wa Jua, Child of the Sun. Welcome to the program, Romell.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
It's an honor to have you on the program. And we are going to be talking about the effects of ultraviolet light on the children. We're talking about the sun. Huh? So if you're out there under the sun or inside the house, and you know how hot we are in Uganda, we're on the equator, so that even makes it worse for us. And that makes it really necessary for you to stay until the end of this program, because you're going to learn very few interesting facts that you may have taken for granted, but which are really necessary for your health. So tell us a little bit about Mtoto wa Jua, Child of the Sun.
Nancy, before I say anything, I have to give praise to God and thank Him for all of His goodness and mercy toward me, for allowing me to be here, first of all. And thank you again for inviting me. As you mentioned, Uganda is an equatorial country, meaning that the UV rays come here sooner and do more damage in less time. Ugandans feel, because God has blessed them with melanin in their skin, that they can run around in the sun all day without taking any precaution or any protection, and it's not true. One of the things that's most concerning for us as an organization is the GDP. Let me back up slightly. The GDP in Uganda, 73% of it is fueled by agriculture, I believe.
Yes.
And 90% of that work is done by women, childbearing age women, with infants on their backs. They don't use covering. They don't protect the infant's head. Somehow this got woven into tradition and culture. But the baby, the infant, is exposed to direct UVA and UVB rays, causing damage to their brain. As a matter of fact, the New Vision and newspaper did an excellent article. If I could share that with you. Did an excellent article that was featured on Monday, May 4th, 2009. You can just see overexposure to the sun can damage your child's brain. You can just see this little one here.
The mother is busy working.
She's
with
busy
the
working.
little one on her back.
She's busy working. He's on her back. Now you can see he doesn't look too happy.
No, he doesn't.
No, he doesn't look too happy. He's not perspiring or sweating because his sweat glands are not mature enough yet. He's not crying because he's dehydrated. He's not pee-peeing, he's not making pee-pee, he's dry because he's dehydrated. So the mother here, she's feeling more or less that he's content, so she's free to work. He's not crying, he's not perspiring, he's not pee-peeing, he's not crying because it takes too much energy. It takes energy to cry. This baby's not doing well. If on closer examination you would find that his fontanelles were sunken. The anterior fontanelle was sunken. As a matter of fact, why don't we show that graph of this baby?
And just to add for you, our viewers, what I didn't say is Romell is a nurse. She practiced nursing for 30 years. And she's retired now. So she's talking this from experience. We are really getting it from the horse's mouth, as they say.
Praise God. This is a view of the anterior fontanelle, which normally closes under normal conditions at 18 months of age.
Okay.
There are 6 fontanelles totally. You can see here that this is the anterior. You can see here there's a posterior right at the back of the baby's head. We have a mastoid fontanelle and sphenoid fontanelle.
Okay.
So there's a total of 6 on the baby's head or on his skull. And they close at varying times. The anterior is the last to close.
Okay.
And it's, like I said, at approximately 18 months of age. Here's another view of that.
Okay.
What's happening is...
And for us who are watching this, when you're carrying a child, we are always told that that's the most sensitive part of the baby. Don't hit it, you kind of protect it.
In Luganda, you call this apompo.
Okay, my Luganda is not really very
I
good
think
either.
it's apompo.
Okay.
In Luganda.
Okay.
And when I see babies out in the market or on the street, and they're just out there in the sunlight, that it really is hurtful, because you know that overexposure to ultraviolet rays causes brain damage for these babies. It causes eye damage and immunosuppression.
Okay.
It also causes vaccine. When we give our children vaccines, it causes the efficacy to be reduced.
Okay.
For the children. So it's a very severe problem here in Uganda. And like I say, people here just aren't aware of the damages of being overexposed to ultraviolet radiation.
So maybe let's go back again to the beginning.
Okay.
What then inspired you? Okay, you came into Uganda more than a year ago.
Yes.
What then inspired you to begin this organization? Why did you choose to work with Mutoto Wajua, Child of the Sun? Why this in particular?
I have to give credit where it's due. When we first, my husband and I, he's from Jamaica, West Indies. When we first reached the continent, we were in Ghana.
Okay.
And I saw them carrying their babies on the back, like most of Africa. And I said, I'm going to put a baby on my back and take a picture and send it to the girls back home in the States. And he reprimanded me and told me to take another look, because these babies weren't doing well. And when on a closer observation, I realized that he was telling the truth. And I started studying. I did investigation. And I've gone to conferences. Over the years, I've just accumulated a lot of information. And it's time. We are living in a time now where ultraviolet rays is at its highest. The ozone layer is being depleted, as we know.
Maybe again for our benefit, what is the ozone layer? Some of this terminology might not be very familiar.
Okay. I'd like to say that the ozone layer is like God providing big sunglasses for the planet. It protects us from the ultraviolet rays from the sun. The ultraviolet, the UVC rays, are totally absorbed before they reach the Earth's surface. But A and B are reaching the Earth's surface. And with the depletion of ozone layer, more and more of these rays are reaching the Earth's surface, causing more damage, and like I said, in less time, because Uganda is equatorial. So this is like an urgent call for parents to cover their babies' heads when they go out, to wear sunglasses. For school children, they need to be wearing hats as well. I'd like to show our little infant hat. I hope we can see that. The fabric comes from ginger, and it's a tightly woven cotton.
Okay.
The lining is a double lining with a cotton blend to make sure that, or the infant when they're wearing it, that they're getting the maximum protection from UV radiation. We think it's cute. During this past year, we've been able to manufacture 500 or 600 of these. We've been giving them away for samples.
Okay.
Hopefully, with funding, we will be able to go into mass production and get these into the hands of mothers that really need them in the villages and places where they can't, if they don't have access to downtown shopping. Make sure that they get a hold. to these.
And what has been the reaction of the mothers when you offer them this?
Oh, they love it. They just love it. They never thought of it, but they just love it. They just love it. And of course, like I said, we've been giving them away, so they're very appreciative to these. To receiving.
You know, sometimes mothers knit. Okay, they make a knitted.
The problem with those knitted ones is that it's wool.
Okay.
And they don't have the which makes this unique is that it has a 7-centimeter brim all the way around. You want to protect, remember that posterior fontanelle? You want to protect the posterior back of the neck.
Yes.
And you want to protect their eyes. So when they're knitting those little knit ones, they're wool usually. And they intensify heat, they hold heat.
Okay.
So I don't like that hat. It's not a very good one.
Okay.
This is probably the best one. When I contacted World Health Organization, these are the guidelines that they sent out in their literature about a proper infant hat.
So it has to be having a length of 7, you said 7 centimeters?
Yes, yes, that's the minimum.
Okay.
It could be more.
Okay.
But because he's on the back, the baby's on the back, I've tried it. 7 centimeters works. It doesn't hurt his face. It's not smashing. It's just a great little cap. I just really like it. And for school children, I think that this is great. It comes from the matuba tree. God just provided this great tree with this bark, and you can use it in so many ways. It can be used to make a cute little hat for school children walking to school. It can be lined with different colors. I think it's just a great, inexpensive way to protect school-age children from overexposure to ultraviolet rays. What do you think, Nancy?
Yeah, and for the stylish ladies, you know, this can be actually very.
I think it's great. I think it's great.
In my hair.
I think it's great.
I think this can be nice.
I think it can be nice.
I think it can be nice for everybody.
Nice.
So I think even for those of us who are fashionable, you know, tie a scarf around it,
yes,
make it more, make it more excellent, and you're there basically. So the ultraviolet rays, is it just the children we are talking about here? What about us, the grown-ups? What is the effect of us?
Well, before we jump to adults, we've talked about the infant. I want to go to that school age.
Okay.
That school age. In Uganda, they tell me that it's a school rule that all of the hair must be shaved off for the girls and the boys. It's a school rule. One of the things that we do in Matoto Wajua is we go to schools.
Okay.
Giving this message about ultraviolet radiation, but we also donate and plant fruit trees. We choose fruits because fruits help boost your immune system. And it provides shade, helps the environment at the same time. So this is part of our...
So the children can be under the mango tree, eat mango fruits. And
there you have it. There you have it. It works. But when I got to the school, I realized that the school rule was not applicable for all students. It was only the African child. So I started making some inquiries. And I'm going, if this is truly a school rule, shouldn't it apply to all students?
The rule of shaving the hair.
All the hair off, right. So I come to find out that it's not against the law to grow hair. It's a school rule. So I looked again very closely at this, and it's not true. There's something wrong with the school rule. Nancy, if there's a rule in an institution, should it not apply to all the students?
And also, when you ask and you're told it's a rule, what is the why is that rule there? Or is it
well, here's what I'm getting ready to tell you. The truth of the matter is the rule does not apply to Indian children. It doesn't apply to white children. It doesn't apply to Chinese children. That school rule only applies to African children. And I don't understand that. It does not apply straight across the board. African children have to shave off their hair, including little girls, but everybody else can have hair. So as a direct result of that finding, we've come up with a letter that we give to the school. This letter should go into the hands of every parent in Uganda. Let me read it to you.
Please.
This is a letter to the school principal and or the headmaster. The name of the school should be there. The child's name. We, the parents of, and you put your child's name, by this letter we do hereby express our desire and right with regards to allowing my child to grow hair. Considering that hair is one of the original coverings given by God to protect, insulate, and help regulate the temperature of the brain. When you look closely at this practice of shaving the heads of only African children, it reverberates a past ideology of oppression. The school rule, not the law, forces all girls and boys to shave their heads, but the rule applies only to the African child, thus making the rule selective and discriminatory. Indian, white, and Chinese children never shave their heads, especially girls. Global warming is a reality, not only causing damage to the environment, but to humans as well. African children need their woolly hair to protect from ultraviolet rays. Overexposure to UV rays causes optic nerve damage, cataracts, premature blindness, immunosuppression, and cancers. When the immune system is compromised, the ability to resist disease is impaired or destroyed, leaving the host child vulnerable and susceptible to any and all diseases. Consider the Word of God. Please read Leviticus 21, verse 5, Matthew 10:30, 1 Corinthians 11, 5 through 7, and verse 15. You can clearly see that a woman is to have long hair. It is her glory. What is glory? Oxford's Dictionary, 6th edition, page 504, defines glory as great beauty, a special cause for pride, respect, pleasure. Her long black hair is her crowning glory. Why take all this away? Remember, whenever you take anything away, it is always replaced with something else. In this particular case, it's replaced with fear, shame, rejection, low self-esteem, inferiority complex, and destroyed femininity. One of the Millennium Development Goals is gender. It is important, and it is also difficult to promote the empowerment of women when they have been influenced by psychosocial oppression all during the developmental years. The school is so important in forming and developing the female child and who she will become. God, in all of his infinite wisdom, did not make a mistake when he blessed Africans with woolly hair. God knew global warming was coming, and he wanted to give you free protection. Be happy with yourself and thank God for who he made, you. Thank you for your understanding and respect regarding this matter of growing hair. And the parent signs and puts the date. So we were hoping that this letter would help the headmasters and the principals realize that it's a God-given right for young people, particularly in secondary schools, to grow their hair, and they need their hair.
Have you started using this letter?
Oh, we have. We have.
And what is the reaction of the parents and
the parents
school
are
administration?
pleased that some of the school administrators just are not aware They don't understand the importance of hair, why it's there in the first place. They think it's to look smart.
Because I have a niece who always has to have her head shaved before she goes back to school, and I know she doesn't like it, but it's one of those things that for some reason, why, I don't know.
It causes her oppression. She would learn better if she felt better about herself. She would learn more if her brain was not overexposed to ultraviolet rays. God didn't make a mistake. He's not able to make mistakes.
I think this one is for the teachers. Those of you who are making your students, the school children, shave their heads. If you want them to do well, and so your school is out as one of the number one, don't let them shave their hair. Keep their hair growing. When I was a little girl, going to primary school, we would get, being so many in the school, some of your friends would have lice, and everybody would have lice in their hair. So sometimes they had to shave your hair because of that. But I get shaving hair myself. I don't like it.
So they shaved your head as well?
Sometimes they would have to do it. If you have lice, you've played with a friend who has lice and you've gotten it, and it just becomes an epidemic among the kids. But I guess it's all about cleanliness.
Exactly. Lice are not prejudiced. They will get in all types of hair. They will get in anybody's hair. My suggestion is, when children start to bathe, just start from the top and work down. Put the soap, water, and wash down. I don't believe that God can make a mistake. He knew what he was doing when he gave us curly, kinky, and woolly hair. He knew that. He knew what he was doing. He gave us melanin in our skin to help absorb those ultraviolet rays. So when women in Uganda and Africa are using bleaching creams so that they can make their skin fairer, they're causing cancers in their bodies. Those creams don't just stay on their face. They're absorbed into the bloodstream. And one of the carcinogens is hydroquinone. And once that's absorbed into your bloodstream, your chances of contracting cancer, is like 100%. So,
well, that's another exciting topic for discussion, actually, bleaching.
Right.
Because for some reason, ladies, I don't know, go crazy about this. People want to look fairer.
We've received this message through slavery, apartheid, colonialism, all those tides, you can call it whatever you like, but Africa is the only continent, with the exception of Ethiopia, that was ruled over by someone else. So during all these years, we've received information, we've received data, we've received an attitude that there's something wrong with us. There's something wrong with our complexion, there's something wrong with our skin, and
something wrong with our hair.
Yeah, right.
So we cut it off, or we do
shave it off. We bleach our skin. Nancy, if you can't be black and woolly-headed in Africa, there's no place in the world that you can do that. This is a place to be who God made you. He made you African. I'm an African descent. I'm an African from the diaspora. I'm an African American. My husband's an African Jamaican. We are the descendants of slaves. So for me to be back on African soil, to come back after so many generations, for me to be here is truly a privilege. It humbles me because I've seen both sides of the coin. This is why I can come to Uganda and say unequivocally, let our children be who God created them to be.
Just as we're talking, something comes to my mind, because again, in our traditions, in our culture, in our customs, when somebody loses someone, somehow I don't know, as a sign of respect for the dead or something, everybody has to shave their hair.
Oh, it's a sign of mourning.
Uh-huh,
I think
uh-huh.
it dates back to biblical times.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sign of mourning
Mm-hmm.
and sadness.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I really don't see any use for it other than destruction.
Mm-hmm. Because also, I think now, okay, then people lost somebody every now and then, but I think now we are losing people almost every week. Relative persons. So you keep shaving your...
Stop.
It's just getting harder and harder and harder.
Stop.
Okay.
But I'm hoping that this will be helpful because little girls need their hair.
Mm-hmm.
It destroys their femininity.
Mm-hmm.
It destroys who they are.
Okay.
And it hurts little boys as well,
Mm-hmm.
but particularly little girls, because we were told by God, scripturally,
Mm-hmm.
that we're supposed to have long hair.
Mm-hmm. Just before, I know we'll be going for a break shortly,
Oh,
but
sure.
before we do that, how does this NGO Mtoto wa Jua, Child of the Sun, how does it contribute to our attempt to meet the Millennium Development Goals?
Well, for sure, we've been notified that Uganda will not meet
Mm-hmm.
the Millennium Development Goals with respect to child survival and maternal mortality.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that everyone, if you have information that's helpful, if you have a knowledge that can be shared to help the government
Mm-hmm.
meet this goal, it's imperative that we do so.
Mm-hmm.
I think that sharing this information about ultraviolet radiation,
Mm-hmm.
overexposure, and how to protect infants, young people, adults,
Mm-hmm.
it reduces, particularly with child survival, it reduces the rate of mortality because the predisposing factor,
Mm-hmm.
there's 136 children under the age of 5 that die per 1,000 live births.
Mm-hmm.
One of the predisposing factors is overexposure to ultraviolet radiation. Why? Because his immune system has been compromised.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when your immune system is weakened, compromised, or destroyed, you fall ill more often and your recovery is less likely.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So it adds to weakening this child, setting him up for failure.
Mm-hmm.
Vaccine efficacy is reduced or decreased by overexposure to ultraviolet rays.
Mm-hmm.
So when you give your child the vaccines for preventable diseases, they're not working as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're not working as well because the body has been overexposed to ultraviolet rays. The uptake is not there. It's missing.
Mm-hmm.
So when he falls sick, his recovery is slower, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
So overexposure to ultraviolet rays predisposes this child to any and all diseases.
Mm-hmm.
And when he receives his vaccines for those highly contagious, preventable diseases,
Mm-hmm.
he falls prey to them. HIV and AIDS is all about what? Immunity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so when these children, when these young adults, there's 45,000 children right here in Uganda who are not only HIV positive, they are full-blown AIDS. And they're not receiving RV drugs.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that are receiving, their response to those drugs is not as positive as it could be because they're overexposed to ultraviolet radiation.
Mm-hmm.
So our program, in answer to your question, our program helps young people, adults, realize that they have to protect themselves from ultraviolet radiation in order to protect, number one, their immune system.
Mm-hmm.
To protect their immune system, to protect their eyes. Because just because we have dark skin it won't protect you from ultraviolet. Just because you have dark skin won't protect you from having your immune system affected, or your eyes.
Okay.
Those are two areas. And Africans get cancer. There's a 12% increase in cancer right here in Uganda. The doctors don't know why. Why are there more cancers now than there were 50 years ago, 10 years ago? It's because of the ultraviolet rays and the fact that we live on the equator, and the fact that 25 billion tons of CO2 is being emitted in the atmosphere, and more is going to be emitted into the atmosphere. Why? Those countries that pollute the planet the most, China, America, India, they didn't sign on to Kyoto Treaty. And now that that treaty is going to expire, there hasn't been one established to take its place that would put caps on the emissions of CO2. So we can look forward to this problem becoming worse, not better.
Okay, we have to take a break now, and we'll be coming back again. Please don't go away. We'll just be going for a short break.
This is UBC, Uganda's Preferred Network.
Imagine a world where people understand that having more than one partner at the same time greatly increases their chances of getting HIV. Imagine the possibility of an HIV-free generation. It begins with you.
The celeb gossip, music requests, Froggy with free tickets. Name it and he will crack it down for you. Enter your weekend in style with your boy Calvin the Entertainer, Horizon Vibe every Sunday.
Cool Entertainment Uganda's sizzling program is at it again with its ever hot cocktail of events. The unbeatable surprise. Ooh, you will never know who's next. Catch us here at UBC Cool Entertainment every Saturdays 8:30 p.m. and Mondays at 2 p.m.
Keeping life real at Live Talk. Join Imi and Nana as they bring you life's informative, entertaining and exciting issues for the youths. Every Saturday at 7:30 p.m.
Welcome back. I'm Nancy Roberts, and I'm in the studio with Mrs. Romell White from Mutoto Wajua, Child of the Sun NGO, actually based in Masaka. She's the executive director of this NGO, and we are talking about really the effects of ultraviolet rays from the sun on the children mainly, but also looking generally at everybody. And this is mainly because, children are often told to shave their hair. Some rule somewhere, which I'm not sure has its beginning where. But just before we went for a break, we were talking about the Millennium Development Goals and the attempt of this NGO to contribute in their own way to helping the government of Uganda meet one of those goals. And I just wanted to take Romell back a little bit about what ultraviolet index is.
The UV index.
The UV index.
The UV index is a numerical scale that's from 1 to 12 that's been established to indicate the amount of ultraviolet radiation and how likely you are to receive them and receive the damage caused by them. So in
So you're
Uganda,
saying it's 1 to 12.
right.
1 being, I guess, the least.
The least.
Uh-huh.
In Uganda, the UV index is 10 plus. It's like 11.
Wow.
Well, I want to share this with you. One of the websites that you can access that gives you all you need to know about global solar UV index, and that website is www.WHO, that's for World Health Organization, .int/UV. And that will give you, the first thing will pop up will look just like this on that website. And it gives you, it's a color-coded system. It's a color-coded system. And you'll see that purple is the very highest. It's 11 plus. And here Uganda is 10 plus. 10 plus meaning almost to 11. It's among the highest in the world. Uganda's UV index is among the highest in the world. Here you see two little children going to school with their hats on, with their backpacks. In the United States, the EPA, World Health Organization, and a number of others are actively, urgently seeking out campaigns for school children because they're teaching them how damaging the sun can be. When you get 2 sunburns, and I'm sure we've all had those, you double your rate for getting a skin cancer just from 2 of them. When you look, there's another website that I'd like for your viewers to look at, and it is from the WHO, World Health Organization, Protecting Children from Ultraviolet Radiation. It's just jam-packed with information on how to protect your children. This is new for Uganda. We do realize this. It's new. It's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take more programs like this. It's going to take more newspaper articles. It's going to take lots of visitations to sensitize. That is our NGO, to sensitize the general public about the harmful effects of overexposure to ultraviolet radiation, with special attention given to infants and young children. Because their skin is thinner, their immune system is not developed, their sweat glands are underdeveloped, they need special care. They need special attention. And also covering them up when you take them out. We've got our work cut out for us.
Just during the day, like let's look at today. When would the ultraviolet rays be strongest?
What's the time now?
Coming to 1, probably.
They're at their most intense. They're at their most intense.
So it doesn't matter whether it's cloudy or not?
No, the clouds don't. UV radiation is independent of temperature. It can be a cold day.
Okay.
So it's independent of temperature. Ultraviolet rays can't be felt or seen. They're independent of that.
Wow.
So they're serious. They're serious. So it doesn't matter about a cloudy day. It doesn't matter if it's very hot or sunny or cold. It doesn't matter. They're coming anyway. Being equatorial, it means that the sun is directly overhead. So we really have to protect our children, the infants in particular, protect ourselves. When you're out gardening, you're out in the sun, you can wear that hat that we talked about.
Yes.
You can wear that hat.
Such a beautiful hat.
Well, it really is, and it's inexpensive to make.
Yes.
Protect yourself. The other thing that I think is pretty expensive and most people probably can't afford is a sunscreen. And it should have a...
yeah, because we have this mentality. At least that's the mentality I have. I'm sure many people also have, we have dark skin, we don't need sunscreen.
No. It's not true. We have to protect our skin as well. The incidence of cancer for Africans or those of darker skin is less. However, when the cancer presents, it's in a late stage, too expensive to treat, and is usually terminal.
Yeah.
So the mortality rate is very high with dark skin because we wait to the last minute to go, and then it's too late.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, in Uganda, the rate of cancer has increased by 12%. The last statistics that I received is that it's increased by 12%.
Wow.
So we have more people presenting with late stage cancer, not early stage.
I'm going to pause a little bit here and open the lines because I know some of us who are watching must be desperate to ask. This is a very interesting topic and also quite a rare one. So I'm sure we are going to have several phone calls. And as we wait, the number to call should be coming on the screen shortly. But it's 0414348025, 0414348025. It should be on your screen by now. Please call, ask your questions, and begin to think about protecting mainly the children and of course yourself. When you're protecting the child, you also need to be protected so you can take care of those kids for a longer period. 0414348025 is the number to be calling. And just as we wait for your calls to come in, I'm going to ask Romell to share some of the challenges that you may have faced as an NGO. I know when you're doing something that is kind of unique and different,
Yes.
and people might be wondering and saying, what are you talking about? You know?
We have submitted requests to some of the larger companies, and I just don't think they get how important this NGO is.
Okay, we seem to have a caller. Hello?
Hello?
Good afternoon, sir. Hello?
My name is Moses, so I'm from Kireka.
Yes, please.
Could you please go to the website on the screen that you can record it down? Some of us may not be comfortable with the access.
Okay, we will get the website onto the screen. Okay, we'll try to do that as quickly as possible. 0414348025. Hello? Say it loud. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
This is Wilfred from Kasanga.
Yes, please.
And putting the light giving volunteer distributors letters, both I'm so touched. How can I get in touch with that place?
Okay, we will be giving you the contact information shortly. Looking forward to giving that to you. The number is 0414348025, 0414348025. Hello, say it loud.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
How?
Hello? Okay, sorry we lost you, ma'am. Try again, 0414348025, 0414348025. Hello? I can only hear the echo.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Can you move away from your television and reduce the volume? Can you reduce your volume? Sir, I cannot hear you. You need to reduce the volume on your television set, then we can communicate. Otherwise, all I get is the echo. Hello? Okay, we lost you. Just a gentle reminder, callers, please reduce your volume or move away from your television set. Then we can hear each other properly. Hello? Say it loud. Hello? You know, it's very difficult to give instructions. How are we going to be able to help our children not shave their hair if we can't get the instruction of not keeping your volume high? Please reduce your volume so we can hear each other when you're talking to me. Hello? Say it loud.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
What is your theme?
Can you ask a question or make a comment as to what we are discussing?
No, I've just come. I don't know what you are.
Okay,
about.
maybe you need to listen to what we are talking about. We are talking about the ultraviolet rays of the sun, the effect of that on children. In case you're just joining us, 0414348025, 0414348025. Please share your questions, comments. Hello? Say it loud, hello? 0414348025, 0414348025 is the number to participate on. Call, ask a question. Please ask a question or give a comment. Don't ask me what I'm talking about because I have to go back 1 hour. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yes, sir, I can hear you.
Yes, please. How could we know the best methods of protecting our children and then we, the adults, from the ultraviolet radiation?
Okay. Thank
Then,
you.
what are the wavelengths that ultraviolet radiation?
The wavelength. Hello? Okay. How to know how to protect our children and the wavelength. You know, I'm not a scientist, I'm pure an artist, so that's an interesting one. Hello, say it loud.
Hello?
Yes, sir. Hello?
Yeah, well done, madam.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
I'm asking.
Speak a little louder.
I'm trying to ask.
Yes, please.
Now, which material can you use for, which other material or which other alternative can you use for protecting your head? Most especially if you're a farmer, you spend a lot of time in the sun, and the material that you can maybe use cheaply, given our African financial stand.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent question. Thank you. 0414348025, 0414348025. Hello? Say it loud. Hello? Sorry, we can't hear you. We have to let you go. 0414348025 is the number to call. 0414348025 if you would like to participate on the show. Hello? Hello? We don't seem to hear anybody online. We'll try one more call and then leave it at that. 0414348025 is the number to call. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, yes, sir.
Now, does it affect someone who is an old person?
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 40 years.
Okay. Okay, good question.
I am saying when to cut a hair or to use a hat.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good question. Maybe we take one more question. 0414348025. Hello? Hello, say it loud. No luck. Okay, we give the last attempt. 0414348025. 041434. Hello, say it loud. Hello? Okay, we don't seem to be successful. Either it's our phone or your telephones. Maybe we just take those questions. Maybe let's start with the last one.
All right.
The last question basically is saying, does it affect you when you're older, especially if you've shaved your hair, or must you also wear a hat?
Very much so. We find in Uganda there are 3 million cases of blindness. The last statistics that I was able to ascertain suggest that there are 3 million people that are blind or suffering some type of visual disturbance. All of that cannot be contributed to overexposure to ultraviolet rays. You have river blindness, and you have, accidents and injuries and other things that cause blindness. But the countries that are closest to the equator are labeled cataract belt, the cataract belt. Uganda sits directly on the equator at 0 latitude. So it stands to reason that a lot of these cases of blindness and visual disturbances are coming directly from unprotected eyes all day, and we live on the equator. People just don't wear sunglasses. And they should. And they should. Be wearing sunglasses and a hat with at least a 7 centimeter brim all the way around. If they can afford a sunscreen with a SPF factor of 15 or above.
Okay.
Those are kind of expensive to use. We should be wearing in the sun a long sleeve, lightweight, cotton preferably, to protect ourselves from ultraviolet. It's easy to protect yourself, but once the damage has occurred, you've got cataracts, you've got cancer in your eye, you've got tumors, you have a weakened, destroyed immune system. These are hard to repair.
What about those hats that I don't know whether you're familiar with the straw hat? You know, like the one they make the mat from. You've seen the Ugandan mats. We make hats out of this as well. Is that okay?
The straw is okay, but you must line it. It needs to be lined, and preferably a double lining with a tightly bonded or tightly woven cotton. The information that I received from the World Health Organization was that the fabric didn't have to necessarily be a natural fabric. It could even be a synthetic fabric, but it needed to be tightly woven. And you know it's tightly woven when it casts a shadow. When you hold it up in the sun and it's casting a dense shadow. There's not a lot of sun rays coming in. You know it's tightly woven. And for our purposes, just double it. Just double that lining and line it properly. It would give you an excellent protection from UV radiation.
Okay. And I think the other gentleman wanted to know about how to protect the children more from the sun. So maybe for his benefit, he may have joined us late.
Oh, okay. The first line of defense is to allow your child to grow their hair. The first line of defense, the original covering that God gave children, that God gave humans, was hair. He didn't intend for us to have straight hair, or he would have given it to us. He gave us curly, kinky, and woolly hair. He gave Africans 3 kinds of hairs. He gave it to us for purpose, to protect, regulate, and insulate the temperature of our brain. That's your first line of defense. Your second line of defense is to put a hat on. Let your child wear a sun hat to school. When they're in the classroom, they can put that sun hat in their little backpack or whatever it is they're taking to school, their little pack. Put that hat away while he's in school. Walking to and from school, these children need to be protected. If you care about their brain, if you care about their eyesight, if you care about their immune system, you have to protect them from ultraviolet radiation caused by walking out in the sun, working out in the sun, playing out in the sun. You have to protect them. The time has come that you can no longer ignore ultraviolet radiation and the effect that it has on our bodies. You can't do that anymore. Those days are finished. Those days are finished when you can ignore ultraviolet radiation. We're living in a time where it's increasing, not decreasing. So if you love yourself, if you love your children, protect them from ultraviolet radiation. Take the time to do that.
And the other gentleman wanted to know the website. I'm sorry we can't put it on the screen, but just have a pen and I'll say it about 3 times for you. www.m as in mama, W as in West, J as in John, dash child of the sun as one word, child of the sun.org. www.mwj, that is the initials for Mutoto Wajua, www.mwj-child of the sun, that's one word, child of the sun.org. And the other, what was the other website that we wanted you to look up was www.WHO as in World Health Organization, www.WHO.int/UV, www.WHO.int, I as in international, N as in Nancy, T as in Tanzania, /UV. And you can also email them at mutotowajua22@yahoo.com. mutotowajua22@yahoo.com. And you can call them on 0752 861-880, 0752-861-880, or you can visit them in Masaka. So I've given you so many options. You can go to their website, you can go to the WHO website, you can email them, you can call them, you can visit them. And I think this is a very how can I call it? A very new area for us, but really very important. I, for one, am really honored that I've learned this, because I think it's one of those things that we take for granted. We are coming to the end of this, and Romell, I just would like you to give us your final remarks as we wind up the program.
Thank you so much, Nancy. I would like to say that it's a privilege to be in Uganda, and an honor to help in any way that we can the children and the young adults here in Uganda, particularly in the area of health. After being a nurse for 30 years, it's incumbent upon me to continue advocating health in every possible way of life. Being overexposed to ultraviolet rays is very, very serious and very dangerous. Putting into practice simple ways to protect ourselves should just be part of our daily health maintenance program. Just like you brush your teeth every day, it's part of your health maintenance program. So put on a hat, put on some sunglasses, drink 6 to 8 glasses of water per day to help boost your immune system. Eat plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables, get lots of rest, and above all, give thanks and praise to God. And with those combinations, I think that you're going to live past the statistics that are out there for Ugandans. Nancy, your statistics is not very good. 48.8 years is not very good. But I think if we make just slight changes in our lifestyles, life can be better, and your longevity is definitely going to be longer. Remember, if you keep doing the same things over and over, you get the same results. But if you change one thing in your life, you get different results. So put into place some of those little changes that we've mentioned today and live a healthy, long life, and God bless you.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you very much, Romell. It's been an honor to have you on the program. And for you, our viewers there, please take special caution, because really the ultraviolet rays are not that easy, as you have heard for yourselves. And please research, find out more, and be how can I call it? be encouraging, go out to the schools, help the teachers understand. Sometimes we look at things, this is the way it was done in the past. This is the way how it has always been done, and this is the way it will be done. But the world is changing. The ozone layer is almost not there anymore. So, we are getting affected by this, and the parents, you have to be the driving force behind the protection of your own children, because if the school is not going to do it, who is going to do it? You're going to end up with children and society that is not performing to its best. All because we are being affected by this. And Ugandans, we're supposed to be really intelligent people. But if we are, almost 11? The index is almost 11.
Index, yes,
the UV index, we're almost at 11. That is a little bit scary. Quite scary. So really, get that hat, be stylish. The ladies want to see more of you out in that. I'm going to get myself a hat. And have a lovely weekend. And please protect yourselves from the ultraviolet rays. God bless you.
This is UBC, Uganda's Preferred Network.
Imagine a world where friends encourage friends not to take chances with their lives. A world where everyone protects themselves.